Hello and welcome to Samurai Wargaming. Today we're bringing to you an unboxing of a recent Kickstarter that I have received. Mark has not yet received his part. For Wild West X's, it's called Unfinished Business. This is their kind of Kickstarter to do their second wave of factions. Included in it were the Confederate Army, the Golden Army, the Watchers, and Dark Nation. So you had Confederate Army, so the South Army, who are a bunch of like outriders and rebels, and you've got the Golden Army, who's like conquistadors, Pancho Villa, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. You have the Watchers, who are weirdly enough stereotypical gray aliens.
Yeah, they're skinny grays.
And Dark Nation, who are just evil Native American warrior nation. The campaign had lots of success. It was funded, I think, in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Huge rewards, really cool set. I think I spent $200 on my contribution, including all the upgrades that I purchased.
And I ended up spending like $181 or something.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't too bad for how much you got. And it's cool because it kind of rounds out the game. The first four factions were in the initial Kickstarter, with Order of Man being added later, who are like the religious people. The game's interesting. We haven't had a whole lot of chance to play it because it has a lot of competition in this. It is a skirmish game, so I mean, you've got Malifaux, you've got Infinity, you've got kind of War Machine, but not really. Kill Teams, Age of Sigmar, whatever. Fucking, there's a ton of scenario-driven skirmish games out there. So Wild West X's has kind of fallen to the wayside in our group. But it's something that I've really liked because, one, it's a little different because it uses a D10 system instead of D6s or cards. It also uses an influence system where you can kind of bid influence to allow rerolls each turn, which is pretty cool. It uses an alternate unit activation type of gameplay where each player gets to choose 1 to 3 dudes who get to activate each round, and then alternating back and forth between you and your opponent, so it keeps the game kind of moving quickly like Malifaux. The size of the game ranges from about 10 to 30 models depending on how large of a game you're playing. So a little bit higher than Malifaux and Infinity, a little bit less than War Machine. Excuse me. So with that being said, let's get started. Again, the game is by Outlaw Miniatures, called Wild West Exodus. They're at Gen Con. They've been at Gen Con every year. They were at LVO this year. They have 2 different 2-player starter sets out now. There's the full-size one that has Lawmen and Outlaws. And then they have the mini 2-player starter, which has Union and Warrior Nation, as well as some mercenaries. So let's crack it in this big bad box here. So I pledged, I can't remember what I pledged at. It was the one that gets you 2 faction boxes.
I think it was similar to mine. I got the Bounty Hunter pledge.
Yeah, we both got the Bounty Hunter pledge. I also bought a couple extra things, like the Toughest Girls in the Wild West, or whatever the hell they called it, which is this pack right here, which is basically just a bunch of female protagonists who are really cool looking. The game is somewhat historical in that it has historical figures like Annie Oakley and Jesse James, but at the same time there's robots and zombies and steampunk and, you know, aliens. So, it's not for everybody. I think the aesthetic is cool. The models are fucking brilliant. They're 32mm models. They use the plastic sprues similar to what Malifaux does, but with some modularity, but not really, kind of like GW does. The casts are really clean. The resin's really nice. There's no pewter to be seen, which is a benefit to everyone. But yeah, so I'm not actually sure who most of these girls are in here because it's been so long since I kickstarted this damn thing. Not saying that they were long on the Kickstarter. In fact, they delivered 2 months early.
Yeah, it's only been 1 year.
But I had so much other shit on my plate that I can't really remember exactly what I got. But the casts are really cool. Let me try to find one that looks kind of complete here. That looks good. The quality of cast of these reminds me a lot of Kingdom Death. Here's a good preview model you can see if you can see through the plastic. Is it decent enough? So the casts kind of actually remind me a little bit of Kingdom Death in their quality, especially with the almost cheesecake factor.
See what some of the other ones.
Oh, here's a single pose one. Let me rip this one out. So this actually has like no building required, which is kind of cool. So here's, I don't know if that helps at all. So as you can see, casts are great. I mean, they're just clean. There's like no mold lines. There's no slippage. There's no injection points aside from on the feet. I mean, they're just really brilliant, really well done. The aesthetic is really clean and crisp, and it's not too dramatic, like cartoony, like a lot of the early Malifaux first edition stuff was, or War Machine with giant fucking shoulder pads and shit. It's just it's a clean looking set. Now, again, it's not going to be for everyone. You have to kind of like cowboys. You have to kind of like Indians. You have to kind of like gray aliens. But if you were a fan of the Wild Wild West, and I don't mean the Will Smith abortion, I mean the original show from, I think, the 1960s, where it was kind of like early steampunk.
Or even if you kind of like Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah, or even Cowboys and Aliens. Yeah. There's got a little bit of that in there, too. So it definitely has a little bit for everybody, but, you know, you're not going to find power armor. Well, you will, just unless you're playing Union.
Yeah.
So this looks like some of the characters I got. There's like a oh, yeah, there's like a tree in here for a base. A couple other interesting characters. We won't look at that too much. There was one in here that I was just like, whoa, when I opened this up. These are the extra grays I got. This is the one that was like, whoa. The models are really big. You've got this character who is so the Warrior Nation, they're Native Americans who use guns who can morph into wild animals. So here's one of their characters who can turn into a bear, a werebear. Werebear, it's just a fun thing to say.
Is the werebear there?
The werebear is here.
Where's the werebear there?
Right there. So you can see he's got like this massive double-barreled Gatling gun. Here, hold on, let me pull it out. Massive double-barreled Gatling gun. You can see his big meaty fist here. Cool looking thing. Here's the body of the dude. You've got like, it's like a cyber bear warrior. Like, what's to hate about that? Nothing. It's fucking brilliant. And then you have a couple other cool characters in here. There's some gray aliens and whatnot. And then the meat of the Kickstarter were the faction boxes. So here we have, I believe this is Dark Nation, and then here we have the grays. Let's bust out the dark.
What did I get? I can't even remember what I got.
You got Confederates and Golden Army.
I got Golden Army, right? Yeah.
Excuse
me, the Confederate Rebellion.
Whatever. Fucking revisionist history bullshit. There's a little bit of that going on if you take offense to, you know, the South not being utterly destroyed. What?
Just stand over there.
Oh. If you take offense to the South not being utterly destroyed by the North, I guess, or whatever the current history books tell you, then this game may not be for you because the South doesn't get utterly destroyed.
They get nuked.
They get nuked, but it's like different. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're able to retain their pride or something. So I actually haven't opened these yet, and the plastic is just, this is beyond anything I've seen from damn near any company. It's just brilliant looking.
It looks like kind of a cross between the Malifaux production and Games Workshop.
For sure.
These are absolutely brilliant. Look at the detail on that.
They're crystal clear casts. I'm not seeing anything. There's very minor mold lines on some of these, but it's so minor that I may not even bother cleaning it. The characters are very emotive. The poses are great. And it looks like building is like 4 to 6 pieces tops. Here's a couple more.
This is all Dark Nation?
That's all Dark Nation. So again, they're evil Native Americans versus the Warrior Nation, who are the good Native Americans.
Well, they're evil like Plains Indians.
Well, no. These guys are straight up evil. They've been corrupted by the Watchers.
Yes.
Are you saying that Plains Indians were corrupted by gray aliens?
Oh my god.
So here's some of the alien sprues. I don't know. I'm not as sold on the aliens as I am the Dark Nation. The Dark Nation just look great.
Yeah.
I mean, the casts are fine. It's just maybe not my preferred.
It's not my aesthetic. It's not that. Well, I mean, they look good, but it's. I got Golden Army because I thought that it was more kind of interesting steampunk look than skinnies.
Right.
The skinnies kind of leave me
wanting a little bit. I mean, they're cool. They kind of remind me of the Scourge from Drop Zone Commander, where the aesthetic, the models themselves look good and they work within the realm of the game. But it's not something that I necessarily would ever want to play with, collect, or paint. I picked them up because what the hell? I know someone would prefer to play aliens over cowboys or Indians, so that's fine. I personally have Outlaws, Lawmen, Enlightened, which are like the necrotic bad guys. And I have now Dark Nation and the Watchers. So I have 5 factions, which I'm using for basically anyone who wants to try playing the game.
Like Chase was saying he's interested.
Yeah, like Chase was saying he might be interested. There's a couple other people who have been interested. Nate bought in with Warrior Nation. Mark now has his will have his Confederates and his Golden Army.
If they get shipped.
If they get shipped soon. And you know, it's just a cool, interesting, fun game. The game is very lightweight. It's got a very beer and pretzels vibe to it. There's not a bunch of super synergies and stuff.
No, the camera work's not great. We're trying to move over here.
Yeah, we're trying to do this quick because we've got a bunch of shit we want to do tonight. Here's some of the alpha. Here's an alpha who's a big dude in like alien power armor or something. Here's a dude with a heavy gun. Here's the Dark Watcher who's like a female antagonist.
Oh yeah, it was like one of the stretch goals.
Yeah, that was one of the stretch goals, one of the bonuses you get from supporting the game. Another interesting thing about this game is that the bases are a little weird. So you'll see they kind of look like podiums, and the game actually doesn't use the standard millimeter size bases. Instead, they go with inch, inch and a half, 2-inch, and 3-inch bases. So you know, this is definitely a America game because there's none of that European hogwash bullshit measurements. So, you know, if you prefer to measure in inches and not have to worry about converting inches to millimeters or centimeters or what have you, this is probably a good game for you. That's more Dark Nation. Here's another Dark Watcher. This is some sort of a Union or Confederate soldier. Let's see, we got another outlaw of some sort. This looks like oh yeah, this is a Dark Nation guy. He's like, his arms and legs have been amputated and replaced with giant daggers, and he's like crawling off a tree, which is just creepy and awesome. This is another Dark Nation character. So the game's cool. I like it. It's a little different than the norm. It's nice to have a skirmish game that uses some sort of dice system that's not, you know, the straight 2d6 that War Machine uses or the poker deck that Malifaux uses. It's kind of refreshing because it's more like 40K used to be, while still having some semblance of the new involved with it. I like a lot of the changes that they've made to wargaming in general and how you think about playing the game, where you can sit down and have fun, or you could, you know, sit down and have fun while being competitive. The models really are the key, the seal for me, the deal sealer, because I think that they're some of the coolest looking models on the market.
Man, you got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, well,
I'm really excited to see.
This was a lot of stuff that I bought on top.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of Kickstarter exclusives and 3rd, 4th, 5th resculpts of different characters that they've had.
Yeah, look at that.
And I like it. It's a lot of cool shit. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for our video. Hopefully we'll have some more content with this game coming out shortly. We want to do a battle report. Probably won't get around to doing it today, but hopefully in the next week or two we can do one and upload just a demo game, walking through the steps of the game. This won't be one of the games that replaces my mainstay games of Malifaux, but it definitely is a game that I'm interested in expanding upon and hopefully getting a couple more converts who are interested in playing. One thing I will say, the rules for this game are available online for free, as are all of the stat and unit cards. You can download them, you can use any other company's miniatures to play the game to test it out. And if you like it, you know, give it a shot, because it is a cool game. It definitely has a different feel and vibe to it, without being, you know, some new system that you have to memorize backwards and forwards because it's super complicated or something like that, which is something I've had a problem with in the past, with picking up new games, where it just kind of consumes your life and you go, I'm so confused, and you go back to play a game that you really love and you forgot half the rules because it's been like 6 months. But this game is super lightweight, so it's definitely something I recommend. So anyway, from everyone here at Sandbar Wargaming, may you roll poorly.